I'm back, and today we're making lentil pumpkin soup. I have actually made this recipe before. It's pretty good. Yes, it sounds like a fall recipe, but it's winter and we're making it anyway. Now, if you've had lentils before, you know that they're pretty gross, but they also kind of take on the flavor of whatever you add to them, so you can make them a little bit less gross. So let's get into the ingredients. 3 carrots, 2 teaspoons of curry powder, 2 minced cloves of garlic. It's not minced yet. 1 can of pumpkin puree. Shit, I forgot to make the vegetable broth. We need 8 cups of that. 2 cups of red lentils. Now, I rinsed these, but I did not soak them. I'm pretty sure you don't need to soak lentils. I've made them before and I didn't soak them. So argue with me in the comments if you want, but I'm not soaking. 1 bay leaf, a dash of red pepper flakes. Then they say sea salt and black pepper to taste. I actually did not pour those out yet, but you can imagine what they look like. 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. And the recipe says to use baby spinach, but I don't have any, so I will just be skipping that step. I also want to mention that the recipe says you have to make this in a Dutch oven. I don't really know why. I think people spent way too much money on Dutch ovens and now they just tell you that you have to use them for everything. I didn't have a Dutch oven when I started making this recipe. I just used a regular pot and it came out perfectly fine. You're not making this in your oven. It's a stovetop recipe, so you definitely don't need a Dutch oven. Now that I have one, I'm going to be using it, but use whatever pot you want to use. It probably won't make any difference at all. Now, because I did not get my onion and garlic ready, I'm gonna do that now, and then we'll get to cooking. Ooh. Now the recipe says something like 2 or 3 tablespoons of olive oil, and I just love when recipe authors say shit like that because everybody knows nobody's measuring this stuff. More for good luck. You know, the only thing I didn't get ready is a cooking utensil, so let's grab one of those. I am real adamant, by the way, about not using metal utensils on our beautiful Dutch oven. This was $20, by the way. I got it at Lidl. We want to add in our onions, carrots, and curry powder. This curry powder, by the way, smells so good. I've been smelling it the whole time I've been talking because it's here. What am I saying? If you've never had it before, by the way, the first time I made this recipe, I didn't have curry powder. I'll put on the screen what I substituted because I had no idea what to substitute. I just kind of went based on the color. It didn't taste anything like curry powder, but it was actually really good. But if you've never had curry powder and you're afraid of it, don't be. It's not spicy. There's very little heat to it, so try it out if you can find it. And if you can't, do the substitution I did. It's a totally different flavor, but it's still really good. So we want to give this a few minutes. We want the onion to be translucent. Okay guys, the onions are translucent now and the spices are starting to burn. I did have to add a little bit more oil. It smells good, but we gotta get moving. It says to stir in the garlic and saute for 1 minute. Now, I have learned the hard way that garlic burns fast, so we're gonna turn the heat down a little bit. I got the broth mixing up on the counter behind me. I don't know if you can see. It's there. All right, it's been about a minute, I guess. I don't want my garlic to burn, so we're adding the next step, which is the pumpkin. Does anybody else obsess over getting every last bit out of the bowl? Groceries are not cheap right now. I am not trying to waste. All right, this is so awkward. This is like one of those finishing school exercises. Can you balance hot water in a bowl? Extra broth goo. And next goes the lentils. Oh my god. You guys, this is smelling really good. It's mostly the curry powder I think that I smell, but it smells good. Come on guys, stop sticking to the bowl. Now is no time for stage fright. They don't want to be cooked. Almost forgot the bay leaf. This is fun to find later. And our red pepper flakes. Okay, it says bring to a simmer and, ooh, I think I have to stir this pumpkin. Shit, we shouldn't have added the bay leaf yet. Hang on, take the bay leaf out. I guess it'll mix together. The recipe says bring to a simmer and cook until lentils are softened, about 8 to 10 minutes. So, bay leaf, back in. Oh god, I hope I find that easily. I'm gonna set a timer for 10 minutes. Okay guys, I'm back. I actually gave my soup a little bit more than the 10 minutes that I originally put on the timer because it wasn't really simmering when I started the timer, and I wanna make sure these lentils don't have that weird like crunch in the center because that's gross. So this is the part where we wanna add in our salt, pepper, lemon juice, and if you're using it, spinach. By the way, when I did make this recipe correctly, I used kale, so I guess I didn't make it correctly. I used kale instead of spinach, but we don't have either of those today, that's why I'm skipping it. So anyway, here we go with the rest of the stuff. So first sea salt. Oh god, that was a lot. Next, some black pepper. I don't wanna have too much, but I like pepper. I don't know if this should be boiling. And the lemon juice. And I guess I'll give this about another 30 seconds because that's about how long it takes for spinach to wilt. Okay guys, we are back with special guest Billy, who is not much of a lentil eater. I'm not either, but I bought them because everyone was talking about grocery shortages a couple years ago, and then last year, people kept talking about it. And when I say last year, I still mean 2021, okay? I don't like January for that reason. Anyway, that was a long preamble. Let's get into the taste test.
I just remember my mom giving me lentil soup as a child, and I hated it. Well, it smells good when you were cooking it, so...
It's Indian inspired.
I wonder how hot it is, though.
It's probably way too hot. We're gonna burn our mouths, so please give me a thumbs up. Well, you guys know, because I told you already that I've made this before. You already know that I like this. But this came out pretty good. Billy likes it!
Just one, I would say, I mean, maybe it's part of the recipe, but the carrot seems a little undercooked. Like, it's a little crunchy. I would think in a soup it'd be a little softer.
Well.
The second one I got wasn't as crunchy, but the first one was a little crunchy.
All right.
But some people like that. This is good.